Welcome to online resource. In this tutorial, we will going to learn how to prepare a node for SQL Server clustering setup. In this demo, we will learning number one. Node need to have a static IP address. If you have DHCP setting, then needs to be removed, and we need to have a static IP address configured on that particular node. In my case, it is TBS Node1. This is the host name of my node that I'm going to add in my cluster. Number two, we gonna go ahead and add two LAN local area network. One is external and other is private, and private is also known as heartbeat in clustering node. Number three, configure lines for external and private communication. I'll be showing you in the demo. Number four, cluster service account setup, and cluster service account need to be admin on this particular node. And number five, install failover clustering Windows feature, and distribution transaction service Windows feature, and finally .NET Framework 3.5 Windows feature. Once we install, go through all these item right here, node should be 99.9% ready to be added in our cluster. Now, before you configure all this point that we discuss again the node prepared for our SQL Server clustering setup, I will share with you my little high level clustering setup right here. As we can see that you can see that it's two node cluster right here, TBS node 1, TBS node 2, and this is going to be my cluster name, and users are going to be connect with the TBS 2012 cluster, and this is the IP address for that. These are the shared drive that node 1, node 2 are going to share. Main point to share is net picture is network 1 and network private. Network 1 is external network, is going to communicate between node and cluster in your organization of over the network, and the private network is going to be used for the communication between node 1 and node 2. Right here, if you notice, I have subnet mask one for my external network, and for my private I have changed the subnet mask to 2. This is the requirement for configuring heartbeat or private network. So keep in mind that you cannot use the same subnet right here and to configure your private network. So also we can configure the private or heartbeat in clustering environment. You do not need to provide your default gateway or your DNS setting. The reason behind that is this network is only going to be used between node 1 and node 2. So the communication between a node 2 is going to take place on private network, and we will be configuring the private network and both node. So let's go ahead and take a look on node 1 and prepare it for clustering. Here is my nodes, TBS node 1, TBS node 2. These are the two node cluster that I am preparing how cluster on. Let's go ahead and open up node 1, and let's make sure that your configuration of our network is right. Right click on the network and open in the network and sharing center. Click on change adapter setting. As you know that I have two NICs right here, network adapter. One is external, another is private. So external up here we need to make sure that it's not set up for DHCP. It has the static IP address. So let's go ahead and right click on external and go to properties. IPv4. I'm not using IPv6, so I'm using IPv4. So you need to click on that, go to the properties. As you keep seeing that is configured for external communication is the static IP address, and the IP address is the and subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS setting. This setting should this is configure of external communication. So let's go ahead and check in your IP in your organization. If you have node that you're preparing, DHCP is enabled on that, and if you see obtain IP address automatically, this is the checked, and obtain DNS server automatically. If these two options are checked, that means the DHCP is enabled on your particular node that you're trying to get into clustering. Keep in mind that need to be removed. So click on use following IP address right here, and DNS setting. This need to be set up. This IT need to be static in order to not to be ready to be need to be cluster. I'm go ahead and cancel this. Let's make sure that your private network is all set to. Right click and go to properties. Again go to IPv4, click properties. As you notice right here, subnet mask, I'm not using one, I'm using two right here. And subnet mask is I don't have and I have put just here some IP address and subnet mask, and no default gateway and no DNS server here settings. So we don't need to provide these settings for private communication. Let's go ahead and cancel. Our next target is to make sure that our cluster service account is admin is on this machine. I am going to go ahead and go to the management, computer management. Keep in mind that in my case it's the TBS is cluster admin, and I'm using the SS service account for this clustering setup. So expand local and users and go to the groups and go to the administration. And as you can see that this is our admin on this machine, and you don't have a cluster service account added as admin. Click on add and provide your account name right here. Check against your right here your domain or active directory. Right here if I click OK, it's gonna give me error that is already added to the admin group. So if you don't have cluster service account added, you go ahead and click OK, and you will be added to the admin. Our next target is let's go ahead and make sure all the features that we talk about right here they are install particular node. So we're gonna check the failover clustering Windows feature and install. Go ahead and check in application and distribution transaction service Windows feature install, and install .NET Framework 3.5 Windows feature. So if you're using Windows 2012, basically click on server manager and see what's already installed on your machine. And if you're using Windows 2008 or R2 Windows 7, you can go in programs and features and see that what installed already. In my case, I go ahead and click on local server and go all the way down, and as you can see right here, roles and feature that's installed right here. So we need to find out that first of all .NET Framework 3.5 is, I want to make sure up here if you see .NET Framework 4.5, don't let this is the higher version. My thing the okay, but 4.5, so I am good to go. 3.5 might be the part of this. It is not the case. You do need .NET Framework for 3.5 installed separately, even if your .NET Framework 4.5 is installed. So keep in mind, don't forget that, and otherwise SQL Server installation will be fail in the end. Other feature is that we required are not installed, so let's go ahead and install other features. If you're using Windows 2012, server manager dashboard, and add roles and features and click next. Roles based and feature based installation, click next. And this is our server. We're going to and reinstall roles and feature, click next. In the up here, this is distribution transaction feature is the part of application server. You need to go ahead and click on that application server. This is the required right now. Next, and right here our feature .NET Framework 3.5 feature. We're going to go ahead and select this right here, .NET Framework 3.5. and we're going to go ahead and select our failover feature clustering, add features. let's make sure that everything else is there. So click next. Up here you will see that give us the distribution transaction. Right here you need to select incoming and outgoing network transaction. Click next. So sometime what happen is between install .NET Framework 3.5 it needs alternate source path. If you click on that, it's looking for sources SXX. This is your installation media, and if you have installation media which provide the path right here, I make sure that if I do have installation media here, I don't have installation media, I'm going to go ahead and basically add that installation media here and provide the path so that .NET Framework 3.5 installation will not fail. So go to the here is my image SQL Server Windows 2012. I'm going to ahead and mount it. I'm gonna go ahead and close this and go to the computer. We'll make sure that I am provide the right path. In my cases is going to be e/sources. If you open this, it needs right here, so I am going to go ahead and provide e/sources/SSXS. so click OK. This is the just make sure that installation will not fail. So for .NET Framework 3.5, so somehow it fails, and Windows 2012 if you don't do that, if you don't provide the alternate source path. So I'm gonna go ahead and restart the destination if it requires. So just be on the safe side. Click on install. Now installation is going to go ahead and take a little bit time, so I am gonna go ahead and pause the video, and I will be back once the installation is completed. Alright, as you can see that required feature are installed successfully. Let's close this and go back the local server and go all the way down, and roles and feature. As you can see that application feature we did basically select that distribution transaction, and our .NET Framework 3.5 is installed successfully, and failover clustering and successfully. So our required feature are installed successfully. So that means that this particular node is ready to be added in our clustering. Okay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.